Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Saturday morning. Today I'm going to be mowing grass, but first we have to stop at the Home Depot. Why do we have to stop at the Home Depot? Because yesterday someone broke a window. Now, they got fired, but they did not get fired for breaking the window. They got fired for the way they treated the team and their manager after breaking the window and not taking ownership of it. So we're going to wrap up the window. We're going to take it into the shop, make sure it gets fixed, and then we're going to go mow some grass. Now, we're going to mow some massive yards that most people are going to be saying, you need a massive zero turn. We're going to use a push mower, and some people won't like it, and that's okay. And I got to get warmed up because literally next week, I'm going to be in North Carolina. I'm going to be starting a business from scratch, from zero, no customers, in an area there's no Augusta lawn care, and I've got to scale that up to a $300,000 business. To do that, I'm going to be mowing a lot of grass, but I have not mowed grass in a very long time. And so therefore, today is going to be a warm-up day. We're going to mow 2 very large lawns, maybe 3 or 4, and kind of kick off some of the rest and get ready to go for next month. Okay, well, I was going to get plastic, but there's just no way in the world I'm spending $30 or $40 for this. Even this stretch wrap stuff is $30 a roll. Mercy. Okay, this is, discrimination at its finest. We got large, we got extra large, large, extra large, 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 extra large, medium. Where's the smalls? This is what we're dealing with. Broken window, let's go. Yesterday slammed on the brake. It didn't have everything tied down in the back. And bye-bye window. But let's go get some lawns done. We gotta pay for the window now, So let's go mow some grass. Look at these beautiful stallions here. Let's go. So today we're gonna try this mower out. This is a Bravo 25-inch deck. It's made in China. And before you hate on it, because we hated on it, we really liked it. At least the crew has said they like it. I have never used this thing in my entire life, but the crew have really liked it. And the reason that we have had to do this, because all of these Hondas that we have lined up so beautifully over here, Honda's not going to be making push mowers anymore. Why? I don't know. Maybe they like batteries more, or they're going to go fight bigger battles. But we still need push mowers. And this one seems to be doing the trick. It's not as heavy as the big Skag bad boy over here, which is nice. Don't get me wrong. Don't everyone freak out in the comments. We like it. It's just too heavy for the crew when they're using it all day long. Whereas this bad boy, because it's from China, probably made cheaper, seem to like it a lot. So they see it bags like a beast because the way that the high deck is really, really high. So let's check it out today. I've never used it. But they want to switch everything to Bravo 25-inch mowers next year. No trailers, all ramp racks and trailer setups with just Bravos. So we're gonna use this bad boy today and see how it bags. Fueling up these bad boys. Of course, we're bringing a little secondary one just in case. This is a really basic setup. We got some tools, we got some wire, which we gotta replace that. Spray tank, we got gas cans, we got a straight edge trimmer, we got a weed whacker, which I'm filling up right now. We got some bins, we got ourselves a blower. It's all really nice and basic, simple stuff, Got a little bucket for pulling weeds. Got a little wheel lock there, so if we want to do a mower sideways, we can. Purr like a kitten! Let's do this! All right, so first impressions on this bad boy, the situation, the Bravo. First thing I look at is up here, is because we do not have problems usually with the engine and the deck and all that stuff. We have problems usually with the controls because we use them so much. And the thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is this whole little mechanism here, because Michael's not good at mechanisms. And this, over the course of 1,000 different times having to move it, I don't like the look of that. Also, over here, I like this. This is simple. Turn on, off, really basic. Kindergarten math, let's do this. Choke, easy. Off, easy. However, when I pulled it all the way back, I actually have to hold it down here to get it actually to stop. And my concern with that is it's based upon this little, I don't know what this is called, a cord, I don't know, thing, wire. If it gets loose, I might not be able to turn this thing off. But hey, maybe it just works like beautifully, and we never have to worry about fixing these knobs and mechanisms. All right, boys, let's go make some money. Look at that. That's a very cute look right there. That truck, back in the good old days before COVID, got that thing for $5,000. Still pulling away. All right, so this is our first property here. Beautiful house here. Supposedly it gets really wet on the left-hand side of the property here. And the neighbor doesn't like us, supposedly. They don't want us to go over there at all. So let's rock and roll. Look at that. Beautiful morning. Oh yeah, this thing is crispy, man. I love it. All right, we finished the front yard. Still gotta do the trimming, but working on the backyard. I liking the stripes, baby. I am listening to a podcast from Sam Altman. He's the founder of OpenAI. Great podcast. Honestly, when it comes to AI, everyone's freaked out about it. I think it's the best thing that could ever happen in this industry. Because everyone's always worried about Pablo coming in, doing a 20-yard cut and wiping us out. Good old Jerry down the street, he's a high schooler. He'll be able to do it for way cheaper. You're right. What Jerry and Pablo will miss is that AI can make your business 50% more efficient. You can compete now on price and do it way more professionally. And guess who the customer's gonna want? Because this is a technological revolution I am not going to miss. Copilot's gonna be integrating here pretty soon with OpenAI. And we got a whole bunch of stuff coming down the pipe this summer. I think this is exactly what everyone's always wanted, and as an equalizer between low price and high professionalism. And we're gonna be on the cutting edge of that. Lake Welcome, baby. Let's go. Mow this bad boy. All right, just finished it up. Let's take a look at the numbers. On this one, we charge $130. It took me exactly 1 hour and 7 minutes to mow the lawn. That's pretty good. And this is the growing season for us. It's pretty long grass. I got quite a bit of grass clippings I got to haul away. Not so bad though. Kept it moving. Full tilt on the 25-inch. I really like it so far. Now on Pay for Performance, we give our crew a little bit more during spring rush because the grass grows so fast. So on that job, we give them 40% and they would have made $52. Not bad for a little over an hour's worth of work. Let's call it an hour and a half even with drive time, load time, etc. You're looking at a solid $30+ an hour to mow grass. It's definitely possible. Yeah, it's hard work. I was push mowing that bad boy. Would have been faster with a zero turn, maybe. But if I'm paying as an owner for a massive trailer behind me and a massive mower, I probably can't afford $30+ an hour to pay my employees, plus medical benefits and paid time off and other stuff we can afford now. All right, so this is the next property. It's pretty funky. It's very hilly, inclined, lots of septic system. We gotta weed whack this whole thing. And properties like this, having a zero turn doesn't help a whole lot because there's just so many tight little spots. View over the lake, and then it goes down in that backyard, down some steps. So this one, we have 3 budgeted hours, so $240 on this one. I'm shooting for less than 2 hours, man. I think I got this, honestly. Let's do it. Okay, this is a bit of a longer mow. So the last one, I listened to a podcast. This one I'm gonna listen to a sermon. It's called God Hidden and Revealed in Simplicity. It's gonna be great. Let's go. All right, my phone's about to die, so let me walk you through this property. I'm almost finished. Just gotta finish up a little bit more line trimming. So up here, the whole septic area, had to push mow it. Typically, if that had a stand on or a zero turn, I'd probably say about 15 minutes. But honestly, the vast majority of this job is line trimming all these side hills, the septic system, and this is the backyard. Sure enough, there's a 32-inch gate, maybe even less. So like, I wouldn't be able to get a zero turn back here anyways. In the back, you got, again, lots of line trimming. There's a whole bunch of a backyard there, then it goes down around the fruit trees. So most of this is line trimming, honestly. And so there's a few things I do to make sure I'm most efficient. This is why I'm actually recording right now. I'm getting the weed whacker. Just strategically placing things around the property. On a property this size, it's important to do that if you want to maximize your efficiency, especially because when you're line trimming that much, your arms get super tired. So you try to break it up. But for those people that are saying, well, why don't you have zero turns? The vast majority of our properties, I'd say 80% of them, we don't use them on. And on properties like this, we would use them on. We'd probably only save about 10 or 15 minutes because the hills and the inclines, etc. However, when I go to North Carolina, you're gonna see we use a 48 stand on almost exclusively because there's just wide open, flatter properties. So ultimately, you want your equipment, your truck, your trailer, your mowers to match the type of properties that you're actually servicing. So for example, this truck here, I got this about 4 or 5 years ago. It was $6,000. Probably cost another $1,500 to paint it, put decals, etc. We got racks, and the ramp rack was probably $4,000 with all the racks and the ramp rack, etc. We got 2 line trimmers, a blower. That mower is like $700. The commercial mower I showed earlier, the 25-inch, it's about, I think it's like $1,800 or $2,000. So all in, this entire setup, you're probably looking at around $11,000, $12,000 fully loaded. Now in this market, you're probably going to need to spend $15,000 to get a half decent truck. So let's just call this $20,000. The thing is, I'd rather use this setup, and yes, I would have to work a little bit harder. I don't get to save the 15 or 20 minutes that I would if I had a stand on. However, I'm not having a $40,000 truck attached to a $10,000 trailer that holds 2 $10,000 zero turns and a whole bunch of equipment, and that's just sitting there when I don't really need it. And most of this property is actually weed whacking and push mowing. So I'm not against zero turns. I'm really not. I'm against not using your assets, very expensive mowers, trucks, etc., to their full extent, because the properties that you are servicing don't require, it's not matched up correctly with the equipment. Also, another advantage of having the trailer set up is I'm able to pull right inside of here. Getting a trailer down that steep slope, it doesn't look so bad, but you'd run the back of the trailer against it, and then backing out of there would be a beast. Or trying to back down it, etc. So this is super easy. Just drive right in. It's just great access for tight spots, hilly areas, tight urban areas. So this side of the property, you can see from the driveway, or it's steeper than it looks, but all the way down there, weed whacking. I can't get a zero turn in there, right? So I'm gonna have to do all that with a push mower anyways. When you're mowing, even though I'm listening to something, I'm constantly strategizing on where I'm going next, where things are placing, what I'm gonna do next. You're never just like, oh, what should I do next? You're not gonna make $30 an hour as an employee doing that. For example, this window, typically I would edge along this sidewalk. But if I do it going this way, I'm gonna be spitting rocks by the time I get here right into that window. And that's a recipe for a yellow slip callback damage case. So I'm gonna plan and strategize. Okay, this one, I'm gonna weed whack going this direction, so everything is spitting away from the window. And then when you're moving around the property, I'm carrying this wherever I finish with the mower. So I'm never walking with the mower around doing everything with the mower, then going and walking and getting the weed whacker. I'm strategically placing everything where it needs to be, including the gas can, the bag, the mower, the weed whacker, the blower, like everything. Looking forward to seeing how we do on this job. I think I'll hit the 2 hours. Let's go. 1 hour, 57 minutes. Crushed it. This is the fastest growing part of the year too. It's not like this is peak summer, it's dormant or anything like that. I don't rush through the properties. For example, before I finish the property, I walk the entire thing. I make sure I don't miss any single thing, because the last thing I want to do is come back here for yellow slip. If I get a yellow slip on this property and it only took me 1 hour 57, by the time I drive here, 20 minutes, fix it, let's say it takes 5 or 10 minutes to do that, and then drive back to my route on Monday, let's just say, for example, someone called and complained this evening, and I had to come back here Monday, my entire hour that I saved of beanie budget hours would be completely wasted. And so me spending 3 minutes to walk around this property with the blower and a weed whacker in hand and just make sure everything was hit and I didn't miss anything is absolutely why I'll be able to retain my pay for performance and be able to make good money. And so it pays to do a good job. Everyone's so concerned about P for P, making their guys work so fast they do a poor job. And the bottom line is, when they actually start making really good money, they'll realize that having to come back to a property is the #1 reason why they won't make pay for performance. They won't make performance dollars and above base pay. So on that property, $240 is what the price we charge the customer. I make 40% of that as an employee on P for P. Therefore, I would make $96 mowing that property, which means if you take 96 and divide it by about 2 hours, I almost made $50 an hour on this property. Now again, drive time, load time, it was about 3 minutes drive from my last property. I'm still making $35+ an hour. And this is during peak growing season. I don't expect one of my brand new guys to be able to do that, but I've been doing this since I was 11. However, it's a matter of having a strategy when you get to the property. You get out, you know exactly what's happening first. For example, I grabbed my weed whacker right when I get out of this truck. I literally go around to that side, I grab that weed whacker off the side, and since it's a property I've never been at, I don't walk the property first. I do the weed whacking because I know I'm gonna have to walk the perimeter anyways. And so little things like that you start to learn, and learn from other people, learn from YouTube. If you're watching this and you're an employee, put some pressure on your employer to check out p4psoftware.com/training. It's completely free training. You can check it out as an employee too. Maybe you need to educate your boss about how this is going to help you as a high performer. And yeah, people that aren't high performers, they're not going to like P4P. They're not going to like the fact that they get a percentage of their revenue because they don't bring a lot of revenue in and they like milking the clock. But a high performer likes P4P. And personally, I want to work with people that are high performers. And I think most grade A talent employees, they do too. The most demotivating thing is to work with a bunch of people that are slow, sapping the clock, taking a nap in the truck while I'm out working hard. So if you want to attract and retain really great people, pay them a percentage of everything they make for the business. And again, they're not going to go crazy fast. They have a yellow slip if they make a mistake. If a customer calls back, if they make a damage case, there were sprinkle heads. If I would have hit those, it'd be coming out of my pay. So there's definitely downsides of poor quality, but high performers can make more money. And yeah, during spring rush, when things are crazy and the grass is growing super fast, sure, it's not like everyone's making $30, $35 an hour. I understand that. There's a lot more hurdles and things that come up during spring rush. However, during summer, during projects, like think about if this was a 40-hour project and I got it done in 25 hours because I figured out a more efficient way of doing things and I worked my butt off. I'm gonna make $35, $40 an hour. And it's possible. It's not easy, but it is possible. So I challenge you, if you have an employee, to talk to your boss, ask them about pay for performance, ask them if you can get paid instead of an hourly wage. You're going to get a percentage of all the revenue you make for the business. We personally give 40% of labor revenue to our team members during the spring rush because it's extremely busy. Then we go down to 33%, which is really where the business can make more profit the other 9 months out of the year. And I know if you're brand new to the system, pay for performance, there's a lot of trust that has to be in place to actually trust that your boss is doing the math correctly and not messing you up and trying to do stuff behind your back. And that's why we created P4P software. So it's a very clear way of seeing exactly what you're making every single day as an employee, and for your employers, be able to know exactly who your highest performers are and exactly what you should be doing in your business in terms of managing your labor. It's extremely important. Look at that. See, no trailer, able to do a quick 3-point turn and drive out the steep driveway, baby. Labor is your number one expense, your number one variable expense, and usually overall expense in your lawn care, landscaping, any labor business that's in home trades, home services, etc. You've got to be able to manage that and pay your highest performers. And yes, some people will be unhappy. And yes, some people will be satisfied and happy to hit base pay and they won't work hard. But the people that really want to get after it, want to get somewhere, want to be able to make some extra money for their family and get ahead in life, they're going to push the envelope. That sort of mindset is what allowed for multiple of our team members to start out as mowing grass, pushing a lawnmower, 18, 19 years old, and now they're owning their own business. And it was the mindset around P4P, efficiency, cutting waste, and owning their own job, and then managing their team to be efficient that led them to be able to now own their own business.